Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of A Nation United Canada edition right here on FIFA 19 Career Mode. Lovely mode. Today, we finish up our third season in the Bundesliga, and thankfully, unlike last year, we are not currently in the drop zone with 10 games to go. It was not exactly a great escape, but an escape nonetheless. And of course, right now we find ourselves pretty much on equal footing between, the top six and being in the drop zone. Actually, we're a little bit further ahead, thankfully. Now, whether or not we're able to work our way into the top six, mathematically possible, but very much improbable. The goal this year was fairly simple. Just solidify our place in the Bundesliga, make sure that we're here next year, and then hopefully next season we see some improvements. And obviously the pressure is going to be on to see those improvements because we know that this team has changed a lot and is going to continue to change. Guys like Olsen and Cunningham aren't likely to be here, and there's going to be a lot more pressure on the younger guys coming out of the youth academy, and that's the thing in terms of how we're building the team. Of course, we joked about exemption players. I don't think we're going to go down that road yet, but obviously a lot of the depth that we have I moved on from, and that's simply because of the contracts they were signed to. The players were good enough that they weren't going to be content with sitting on the bench. I mean, I can keep a Victor Olsen, but right now, content. And that's because he's a starter, right? If we look at Cunningham, he's unhappy because he's not starting. As someone of that caliber should be playing every single day. So at some point, if Cunningham hadn't already had a move to Marseille confirmed, he probably would have asked to be sold, and we've seen that with players before. So a lot of those guys that I lost confidence in and that I knew wouldn't make it beyond kind of the low 80s, because that's really where great potential kind of caps off, it made sense to get rid of them, even if it hurt the squad depth for now. I still think heading into next year, we're going to be okay. A lot of the youth academy guys are going to save us and can be trained up rather quickly. Larry Kerr is absolutely good enough to be our second choice striker behind Jonathan David next year. David, currently the Golden Boot winner for the Bundesliga. We'll see if that, stays the same, if that story stays the same way through the last 10 games, but he's currently scored the most goals in the league this year. We've talked about Carson Morgan, Russell Sullivan. We have players already that are going to be built-in replacements to who we have on this team. So I don't hate where we are right now. It'll be interesting, though, to see how this goes down as far as the remainder of this season is concerned. We are going to stay live for this entire episode. Again, we have some international friendlies to deal with, but 10 games left in the Bundesliga season. We start off against Wolfsburg, who scored 3 minutes in. We're going to sim the rest of this, and it's a comeback win. Damn good start to the episode. Olsen and Jonathan David in the 64th minute gets the winner against a decent Wolfsburg team. Of course, we took a look at all the team rankings in the Bundesliga. Pretty much every game is a, hey, we could win this, or in some cases, a should win this. That still sees us in 9th, but if Hoffenheim drop points, we're on a pretty damn good pace. Right now, just 3 points behind Schalke in 7th, so I really don't hate where we are. And speaking of Kerr, he's up to a 61 overall. Sullivan, nearly a 70. And of course, he'll be that backup left mid for us next season, more than likely, once Cunningham is on the way out. And speaking of Schalke, man, this is just, everything's leading right into one another. We play Schalke next. We get a transfer offer for Eric Bliska, who of course we signed, and he wasn't looking all that good. But a huge opportunity here to make up a ton of ground if we can win this game. This is a huge game for us if we want to try to keep our top 6 hopes alive. We beat Wolfsburg. They're currently a point ahead of us, so that shows you just how big that game was. If we beat Schalke, we have a chance to potentially finish in the top 6 this season and get a spot in the Europa League. So it's a home game, a winnable game on a Wednesday night. Can we get the job done, though? I mean, big names, not really. I think that's Rob Holding, Weston McKennie, Augustinsson gets the goal, though. Davies is able to tie it in the 34th minute. They're not starting Ralph Fairman either. Moore scores in the 47th off the bench for Olsen. We're up 2-1, 20 minutes left. We're looking at least a draw here, unless we completely botch this. We're 5 minutes away from that, and indeed we are. Weghorst scores in the 77th, so a little bit disappointing for them to be able to get a draw. We're not going to be able to, jump up as far in the table as we were hoping. We're actually down to 10th, so a big opportunity slips through our fingers for now. But that does show that, we are competitive and that good things could happen. Now, we end up playing Mines here on the Sunday, which is rough, fitness-wise, for a lot of people on this team, unfortunately. And I'm not really sure how we're going to go about this. Actually, you know what? Yes, I am. We're going to put Morgan there. We're going to bring on Sullivan and put Alphonso Davies at cam. And we're going to see if that works. Park is back into decent form. We're going to play him at center back again. And that will be the team for this game. I'm not sure where Mines is in the league table. I believe they are below us, though. They're in the drop zone. They're in 17th. So if we want to finish in the top 6 this season, this is a must-win game. No doubt about it. A draw against Schalke, that hurts, but it's acceptable. If we don't beat Mines, if we don't walk away with all 3 points, we're not going to finish top 6. That dream dies now, and it's just more about, okay, how far up the table are we going to finish as their right back scores, Pierre Gabriel. And I'm not all that happy right now. Half an hour left. We need 2 goals here, please. They get a red card for Leyva. Can we score? We can't. They score again. 2-0 final. The top 6 dream is over. An embarrassing defeat, I got to be honest. Losing to a team currently in the drop zone, and as soon as the hopes showed up, they're immediately swatted right back down. The Schalke draw and an embarrassing, frankly unacceptable loss to Mines. We know we're not finishing top 6. So the Europa League is out of the question for this year. Next year, though, we desperately need to finish in the top 6. It'll be our 4th season in the Bundesliga. We need to finish top 6 as we draw Cameroon, Choupo-Moting, the lone goal for them. I'll be very intrigued to see if we can get the win, or the wins that we need next year. We end up playing Sweden, and of course we'll quick sim this as well. They're coming off of a draw against Switzerland, and we draw both of our games on the international stage. Of course, both friendlies, though. Not too concerned. Training-wise, still going to focus on those 3, Kerr, Cooper, and Sullivan, who is approaching a 70. Kerr getting very close to a 62 rating at this point. And coming up this weekend, it looked like it was Hanover, as again, desperately trying to get Bliska off of this team. I don't believe any of these suspensions are for club level. I think they were for international level. It is indeed Hanover. Again, another must-win game. We get another transfer offer for Bliska, this from AIK in Sweden. Hopefully that goes through. Of course, he's not worth really developing for us. And based off of the table, we're in 10th. Let's take a look if menu lag doesn't want to be a thing. Let's take a look at where Hanover are. They are dead last. This, obviously. This has to be a win, please. There is no, oh, that's okay, boys, good try, like there was against Schalke. You have to win this. You have to show that killer instinct. And to be honest, we're going to make a couple of changes here. Now, I don't really have anybody else right now that can play in the midfield outside of James. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to move James into the midfield for Piet. And he's going to take a seat. We're going to play Taylor at center back for this game. So Gagnon and Taylor in at center back. Cooper is in poor form as well. He is the one guy, though, where I'm like, yeah, you get to play. Even if you're in poor form, the 86 rated keeper gets to stay. We are against the team that is currently dead last in the standings. If you don't walk away with 3 points in this one, you haven't disappointed us because our chances of top 6 are already gone, but you would have disappointed yourselves, and thankfully you did not do that. Alphonso Davies and Clark with the goals. It's a 2-1 win, an actual come-from-behind victory there, but a 2-1 win nonetheless. and that moves us back into 9th. Still just 4 points out of the top 6, but again, I'm not getting my hopes up at this point. I'm not expecting it. It would be amazing, but I'm not expecting it. And especially to Hertha Berlin, Frankfurt. We play Hoffenheim in the DFB Pokal, but then Bayern Munich, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Cologne, and Dusseldorf. It's a pretty tough schedule here down the stretch. I mean, especially that game against Bayern. They're underperforming here. They're not in the top 6, which is shocking, but they are very much looking forward to being in the top 6 as I would hope that we would ultimately be. And really, as if we don't have any excuse, they don't have any excuse, regardless of how things have gone down for them on the past few seasons. Bliska still refuses to move. We get our scouting report back. Daniel Wilson will be signed for the moment, and Justin Smith will be signed for the moment. And my hope is that Smith is the right back that we desperately need. Tyler Evans, of course, will be signed. Hopefully he's an 85 to an 88, not actually an 82 to an 80, or 82 to 85. Pierre Park is going to be cut. Larry Kerr, of course, looking great. Morgan still looking good. Jordan Sullivan's a tough one. I got to be honest, we don't really need him. We don't really need him. I'm going to get rid of that guy, which is crazy because he's a 67 already, but we don't need him. Sullivan's fine. Tyler Moore that's a shaky pickup right there. Walter Sullivan's looking great. Cooper's looking great. Max Wood also looking pretty good. Tyler Haber, oof, that's a tough one. I'm going to see if that potential goes up. Daniel Wilson is a right back. Please let him be better than great development. Justin Smith was a center back, and Eric Sullivan, unfortunately, is going to be cut. But again, I still like a lot of the players that we have there. We're not going to sign anybody this year unless they are absolutely needed due to injury, which we should be okay on that front anyway. So we play Hertha Berlin. We, again, are desperate to get rid of Eric Bliska. For the love of God, just leave. Just leave. I can't imagine he's being paid that much. He's on basically an entry salary. Hertha Berlin, at this point, currently, wow, 3rd in the league table. Talk about an overperformance. That's really the only way to put it. They shouldn't be there compared to a team like Bayern Munich. They really shouldn't be. Well, then again, 81, 81, 76, never mind. Wow, they actually developed really well. I mean, especially Meyer and Benasser in the midfield there. You know what? Fair play. That's a decent team. I could see why they would have done well. I mean, you have those two shutting things down in the midfield. This is a tough game for us, man. It's a road game. I do just want to double-check the team, mainly in terms of form, and a lot of people are on good form. We're going to stick with the lineup that just got us the win. Can we beat Hertha Berlin? I hope so. A draw I would be okay with. Again, we know that they have a decent team. Duda scores in the 12th minute. And, of course, the team we were looking at, they had different goalkeepers in as well. Jonathan David misses a penalty, and then Taylor gets a red card. It's falling apart, in case you had hopes. In case you had hopes of top 6, wave goodbye to it. Unless there's a miracle goal here. Selke scores, that's it. 2-0 loss to Hertha Berlin. Both times we get within striking distance of the top 6 in this episode, and we just absolutely blow it. It's the only way to put it. Just absolutely blew it. Top 6 was absolutely obtainable for this team. At this point, it would take a miracle. So many other teams would have to botch it, and we'd have to go on one hell of a winning streak. So, it's a shame to see a team underperform to this extent, but as long as we finish in the top 10, I think I can at least accept this season for what it is. So Frankfurt is next on the agenda. We are going to have to switch back. Piet will be back in. James will be back at center back. Park still in bad form. Mathis in bad form as well. You know what? Let's play Brault Gallard here. Mathis and Park will take a seat. And you know, it's a really tough call. We're going to leave in Cooper. I feel like we have to. Again, he's the one guy where it's like, okay, if you're in poor form, you get to stay. Everybody else, it's like, we got other options, man, that we can go with. So let's see what happens. Home game, Frankfurt in terrible form. This needs to be 3 points. And it is, thankfully. Jonathan David hits 2 pens en route to the victory. A 2-1 win over Frankfurt. And we're looking okay heading into the semifinal of the DFB Pokal against Hoffenheim. Borussia Mönchengladbach against Borussia Dortmund. Not Borussia Mönchengladbach. That'd be a much better name, though. And any Dortmund fan who is somehow watching this goes, the fuck it would be. Training-wise, Sully does get up to a 70 overall. So again, he is going to be the backup option at left mid unless something changes. Looking very, very good. And we're not on track. That's what you think. I think we're very much on track. We're not getting relegated. We're fine. As long as we're not on pace to get relegated, we're on track. Don't really care what the board has to say. Josh Moore wants in. The issue right now... Oh, God, Moore. I don't know why Moore wants in. I get that he's in good form. That's not going to happen. I think lineup-wise, it's going to stay the same. We're going to have to rely on substitutes to get us through this because, yeah, we have some tired players. But let's do this. I mean, we've made it this far. Can we beat Hoffenheim on the road to advance to the final, I believe? I don't believe the semifinal is 2 legs. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1, and a victory to Kaiserslautern. Clark with the only goal of the game, the lone goal, the winner. In the 66th minute, do you believe in miracles? We just won. The first time we've made it past the first round of that tournament. And we're making it to the final. Beautiful. An extra $2.5 million doesn't do much. But now, our reward for having to play another midweek game is that we get to play Bayern Munich. Fun. The team is going to stay the same because this version of the team's been on a bit of a roll lately. And we'll see whether or not we can pull off a miracle. We're still within striking distance with 4 games to go. Every game would have to be a win. If anything, this year our sights are set on this game right here, the final game of the calendar year for us, or not the calendar year, but just of the year in general. It is the DFB Pokal final against Borussia Dortmund. That'll be after the Bundesliga season concludes. So let's see what happens here against Bayern. Tough game, slightly different lineup than what we'd normally go with. Let's see, though. Coleman, Casteels, Pavard, Schula, Lorente, Tagliafico. Damn it, that's a damn good team. That's a damn good team at this point. A draw would be nice. Iwobi scores. God damn it, they have Griezmann and freaking Gnabry on the bench. Are you kidding me? They have so much talent. Kingsley Coleman in off the bench. As we have 20 minutes left, still down by 1. Coleman scores again, that's it. Win, 2-0 loss. Win, 2-0 loss. That's just been the theme. Bayern take the game. Again, RIP to the top 6 dream. I pretty much gave up on it after that Schalke game. But if any of you thought, well, maybe. No, it wasn't. It wasn't going to happen. This team just can't seem to string together wins, unfortunately. And Alphonso Davies will miss the next game due to suspension. That against Borussia Mönchengladbach on Friday. So our third to last game of the season. No Alphonso Davies. Sullivan will be in. Up to a 70, of course. And from that, we're looking all right. We're going to stick with the same team. We're going to stick with the same team. Or not. That's right, because I didn't take Davies off the bench. My bad. It's got to be White. There we go. So White will be in because Bliska can kick rocks. Let's see how we do against Gladbach on the road again, which, my God, in terms of road games, we've been dreadful. That streak doesn't continue, though. Well, aside from the game against Hoffenheim, Jonathan David, the lone goal on Summer. That is a win. 3 points in the books. And that sees us stay in 9th. We will see what happens to Hoffenheim in 6th to see if this game keeps the hope alive over the last 2 games of the season as we head into April. We will, of course, handle the training, and then the scouting report, I believe, will be in. So Bayern on 50 points. We are on 46. We could finish in so many different spots on this table that it's not even worth trying to guess or trying to predict. We will see how the cookie crumbles. Scouting-wise, what do we have here? Noah Park, not too bad. Anthony Rogerson, not so great. So let's just clear out a couple of these guys, although it really doesn't do that much. They'll still show up anyway. So, hey, 1 or 2 players that might work out for us. We will pay attention to the actual youth academy itself a little bit later on. We play Cologne here on this Saturday. Again, we are pretty much confirmed to be within the top 10. Actually, mathematically, yeah, we are confirmed to be a top 10 team this season, which is where you would hope we would be. Although it does sting a little bit that we could have finished slightly higher than that, but what are you going to do? Everyone on this team, except for Alphonso Davies, is currently in good form. Can they put that to good use on the road one more time against Cologne? Let's find out. Can we get a huge win here? No, we cannot. It's a draw. Victor Olsen saves the point in the 86th minute. So that does confirm the top 6 dream is done. Indeed it is. We cannot finish in the top 6 this season. Next year, the goal is simple. Get to European, get into European competition with the Europa League, more than likely. That is clearly the goal next year. Was hoping we would have been there already, but it just hasn't gone down that way, unfortunately. So let's do this. Our final game of the season, we'll have that 1 extra game against Dortmund to wrap things up here. It's Dusseldorf. Dusseldorf, we get another offer for Bliska. I doubt that he leaves because he doesn't want to leave, clearly. We will sim this game, and the next weekend we take on, I believe, the champions. Is that confirmed? That is confirmed. We take on the champions of the Bundesliga in Borussia Dortmund. They're looking for the domestic double, and it's our job to stop them from doing so. Brock Gallard's in good form. Mathis can play center back and will in this game. We'll get Taylor in there on the bench. This is a tough one, man, because Moore's in good form. Clark's been playing well, though. We'll leave the team as is. Mathis at center back. And we will sim the final game of the year. I don't want to say irrelevant, but somewhat irrelevant. Dusseldorf in horrible form. It should be an easy 3 points, and it is the easiest 3 points, arguably, of the season. Gagnon, Kay, and Olsen with the goals. So, to conclude this season, in terms of the Bundesliga, we finish as a top 10 team, and that was 8th place. 3 points out of the top 6. The losses to Bayern, to Hertha Berlin, to Schalke, backbreakers. We just couldn't win consistently enough. 11 draws on the year. Defensively and goalkeeping-wise, it wasn't great. 36 goals, which was more than all but 2 of the teams in the top 8. 2 of those teams ended up making it to where they needed to be, to where we wanted to be. Hoffenheim, 5 more goals. Hertha Berlin, 10 more goals than us this year. But Dortmund only lost 4 games out of 34 in the drop zone. Hannover and Stuttgart are down. Dusseldorf will fight for their lives. But in the meantime, we have something to look forward to, and that is the final of the DFB Pokal against Dortmund. And for the hell of it, let's take a look at the Champions League. Has that been decided yet? It is not. AC Milan and Barcelona in the Europa League. I love how the Champions League loaded so quickly. The Europa League, Spurs and Atletico Madrid. So let's go ahead, get this training session done, And because it's a somewhat irrelevant game in the grand scheme of things, we're going to play this game against Dortmund. We're going to do it, and we're going to see if we can walk away with a little bit of hardware from this season. You know, a decent way to set the tone, to set the standard for what we are looking to do heading into next year, and that is to be a winning team. Not that difficult to accomplish. $60 million for where we finish in the Bundesliga. It doesn't really help. Quickly, though, to recap, what I want to look at here is the player stats. As in the Bundesliga, please load. Thank you. Jonathan David did win the Golden Boot. 15 goals this season. Wasn't enough, though, to help get us to where we wanted to be. In terms of assists, we had Jonathan David up there in 11th. So just kind of shows you how crucial he was to our success. And I feel like he did just a little bit better once we got rid of the secondary striker options. This is likely to be the team that we use in this game. I think it is. We'll see if more ends up coming off the bench, but we will pretty much use that team as it is. Let's see if we can take home some hardware. It's going to be weird to be playing this after playing a bit of the FIFA 20 beta. But we take on Dortmund, the Olympia Stadion. Let's do this, shall we? I'm excited. Can we bring home just a little bit of hardware?
Hello again, everyone. Martin Tyler here with Alan Smith. We're both looking forward very much to this final of the DFB Pokal. This match features Borussia Dortmund against Kaiserslautern. Swung in from the corner. And the corner claimed by the goalkeeper. Not too difficult.
Oh, Olsen. That would have been a hell of a way to say goodbye to the club.
Maybe that will ease the pressure. We're giving it straight to the opposition.
Victor Olsen. Victor Olsen.
Get at the opposition here.
That's going to be a foul, not a penalty.
Straight away, pointing to the spot.
No, it's a penalty. They're calling it a pen. Victor Olsen draws a rare penalty in which the player doesn't fall down in this game.
Well, let's have another look at that tackle again, Alan.
Are you serious? I mean, I love Jonathan David, man, but Victor Olsen drew it. It was a hell of an effort, and it's a big chance for him to go out as a hero in one of his final games, and he nails it. Victor Olsen gives us the lead. He's gone no matter what. But he draws a clutch foul and secures us a lead in the final of the German Cup.
Goalkeeper read the play very well and clears it away without too much danger.
Victor Olsen nearly does it again.
Attempted a pass, really.
David for Clark. It's Clark.
And he tries to chip.
And the chip goes off the bar.
Just hit the top of the bar and it's gone out of
That close.
a little bit unlucky.
Olsen. Right to the hands. That's going to do it, though. A strong first half for us against tough competition.
For half-time.
We have the 1-0 lead. Stats-wise, held them to just one shot. We're looking good. Very close to having this be a season to remember. Olsen up to an 80, though. Again, he's towards his limit. Otherwise, we'd keep him. He's been great in this game. Speak of the devil. Clark. Bar! Oh my god.
That's safely away.
Big chance here for Davies. What a pass. Alphonso Davies. The chip. Off the bar. Oh my god. We cannot buy the second goal right now.
Now, can he take them on? Roberto Firmino. All about picking the right pass now.
What a save. Crazy shot.
He shouldn't have had a
Clark's going to come off. We got to make a couple of changes. That was a huge save there. I don't want to take off Olsen. He's been so good, but he's starting to get tired. We're going to bring on Moore. He's been in pretty good form leading up to this game. Aside from that, I think we're going to give Olsen another chance, man. He's been so good. He's had a couple more instances of being so damn close to making something happen up top.
In goes the corner. That's a good block.
Let's get rid of it. Beautifully done. It's not going to lock David onto that, though.
Your Dortmund fans, they're fantastic, aren't they? Doing everything they can to urge their players on in search of this equaliser.
Roberto Firmino. Roberto Firmino.
Huge play there by Gagnon. That was such a lucky break for them to even get the ball there. We have 10 minutes left in our season.
Like this.
Here's Moore. Hell of a touch. David for K. Tried to go back for David. Huge play by their defender.
Rushes on for Borussia
Under
Dortmund.
10 minutes left, potentially, in our season.
A goal from Sutton.
K for Moore.
Limerock.
Plays it in. Chance at the back post if that guy missed it. That was Olsen wide open.
8 more minutes.
We can do this, man. We can hold on. Is one goal from Olsen enough to see us raise our first piece of major silverware? No disrespect to, well, actually, in fairness, did we even win the third tier? I don't even remember if we won the third tier. I know we won the playoffs in the second tier.
For the goalkeeper coming out.
Good job there by Cooper. We're looking all right. Lucky to get that pass through. Olsen gets bullied. That's going to be a foul, though.
Referee says
Suggesting Davies off. Let's take a look at more chances. Olsen's gassed at this point. We need a little bit more speed up top. More than anything. Morgan's good on the ball. We're going to have him replace Olsen. And we're going to have Sullivan replace Davies. 3 of the future talents here on this team, you would think. Although one of the right mids might have to go.
tried to catch him out with a
Quick
short
passing. We're fine here. Just going to waste a little bit of time.
Trying to
Peter
switch on
Gagnon
the attacking
for
part
David.
of the situation.
Back for the captain. And horrible control from Piet just cost us a scoring chance. There's 2 minutes left. Brandt tries to, or they probably tried to play it over to Brandt. Wasn't good enough.
Time, even this late in the game, for a twist to the tail.
David. Or Sullivan. Doesn't have the speed to break through, but recovers.
Referee now.
Played through for David. It explodes off his foot. This is it for Dortmund. They gotta send it down. Fortunately, Kate lets him get open. This is it. Are we going to extra time?
The damaged muscle here. Might
Or have we
be
done enough?
out for some-
Big interception. And that's it.
Well, there is the final whistle, and that confirms what we've been knowing for some time, that they are the champions. Alan.
Yeah, absolute joy amongst those players. They've worked long and hard, haven't they, over the course of the last 9 months or so, and boy, they deserve it.
These are special moments for a very successful team. Congratulations to them. Wonderful scenes of joy here, and no wonder they're milking the moment. Want to make absolutely the most of this.
Well, they're a proper team, aren't they? They've stuck together, defended really well in this competition, and snatched the goals at the vital times. So, fully deserved winners.
There they go. They are the champions.
Peter Gagnon raises the German Cup. Kaiserslautern have a piece of hardware for the trophy case. That is the first of hopefully many. And I hope that sooner rather than later It is joined by the trophy awarded, of course, to the Bundesliga winners, and by the World Cup trophy for the Canadians. But a big moment for Kaiserslautern, stopping the Bundesliga champions in this game to win the German Cup. We beat Dortmund 1-0. Victor Olsen gets a hero's send-off, scoring the winning goal, the penalty, in that first half. It is the biggest moment for this club since we have taken the reins. And hopefully, again, it sets the stage for what will ultimately be a very successful and memorable season this upcoming year. But a hell of a way to end our third season in the Bundesliga, a top 10 finish, and ultimately a little bit of hardware as we shut down Dortmund, held them to just 2 shots, one of them, the second one in particular, of course, in that second half, extremely dangerous. Defensively, we were absolutely on point, very promising, I think, with the players that we have, at least when I play. We'll see if the younger defenders, of course, can get the job done in what is ultimately a sim-heavy series. Kerr is up to a 64. What we're going to do is sim ahead to the end of the year. Once it jumps over to the next calendar year, that way we can see what players we have ultimately signed, and we can make the most of that, and that way you guys know really what we're looking like heading into next year. Nice $8.5 million. That is going to go to absolute waste because we have no way to use it. But an 8th place finish in the league, German Cup winners, and Carson Morgan wants out. No surprise there whatsoever. Again, will he be the replacement early on for Piet or for Kay? Maybe not this season, but the next at the very least, and who knows, maybe it will be this season. It's not going to take that much training and first team time to make something happen for him. And in terms of what he's looking like, he's also listed as great potential. It's a damn shame. Now, great potential. He will be better than Piet, ultimately. So, I mean, we'll probably keep him. Maybe try to loan him out if we can. But that is ultimately disappointing that he's not going to be a Peter Gagnon type, you know? It is ultimately relatively disappointing. Unlike the center backs, where it's like, okay, these guys are worth training up now. You know, they're already at where the center pack was at the beginning of the year, and they're going to get better, much better. Whereas the center pack, it only would have been, a little bit of improvement here and there. But to take a look at Morgan, 3-star, 3-star, low, medium, that's okay. That's okay. He is a true holding CDM, but 72 physical, 67 defending. That's not bad. You almost play him as another center back, one who's just a little bit more on the ball, of course. And Walter Sullivan also wants out. Again, a little bit of hope that he ends up being slightly higher end. 82 to an 88. We need it to be closer to an 88 for the 17-year-old Sullivan. Of course, we'll take a look at the others in a moment. Did it say Russell Sullivan or did it say Walter? You know what? Just to play it safe, we're signing Walter Sullivan too, obviously, and he's going to want out of the youth academy very, very soon. So, just to play it safe, screw it, we'll sign both of them. That's a move that was going to be made anyway. So, let's take a look here at Walter, listed as exciting, of course, which is very, very nice. We now have the 4 center backs that are going to lead us into the future, no doubt about it. Walter, 2-star, 3-star, low, medium, fine by me. And for the center mid, Sullivan, 3-star, 3-star, medium, medium's not bad. Also listed as great, which is a bit of a shame. That's a bit of a shame. I mean, again, probably going to cap out in the low 80s, might make it up to the mids, but still a little bit rough. Still not quite what we're looking for. We need him for depth at the very least. Again, same thing. We will have he and Carson Morgan on the loan list just in case if they can get first team time elsewhere. But they're not the ones that are, they're not the near world-class players that we're going to need. Tyler Evans also wants out, and at this point we might as well just go through the youth academy to see who's there. And anybody over a 60 is going to want out. So Evans, Again, slight chance for him to be high 80 potential. Larry Kerr is going to be signed as well. We'll come back, but we'll go ahead and sign Evans and Kerr. We know Larry Kerr is going to be the second choice striker this year. So let's take a look. Evans also under great potential, which I got to be honest, I mean, he doesn't top Sullivan. He doesn't top Sullivan, so his future here, meh. Larry Kerr, though, is exciting, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. He is the second choice striker behind Jonathan David next year. Evans, for the record, though, 3-star, 5-star, which is amazing, but his work rates are garbage. Whereas Larry, oh my god, he's the chosen one. Larry Kerr, 5-star, 5-star, medium low. He is the chosen one. Oh my god. He and Jonathan David are going to lead this team at both the club level and the international level to amazing things. Larry Kerr is the real deal. Make no mistake. As Atleti win the Europa League, that is insane that he's 5-star, 5-star. Oh my god. For the moment, let's look at who else we have here. Again, Bliska, I'm not going to train up. Midfield-wise, we'll figure it out. Evans, I'm not really going to focus on. Sullivan and Morgan, I'm still so uncertain about. And then center back-wise, we're looking okay. Mathis is still the main left back there. I'm just not sure. With Kerr and Cooper, we know we want to keep training up Cooper. Actually, you know what? Here, before we do the training, let's take a look at the rest of the academy. Of course, we're going to have new recruits here in a moment, but still, we will take a look at this now before we wrap things up here. So Moore is still safe for the moment. Larry Cooper, we're going to sign him right now, and there's a decent chance of him being exciting, which will be nice. Max Wood, we don't know yet. Daniel Wilson, there's still an outside chance, but it's looking rough. Tyler Haber, call him what you will. There's still an outside chance, but it's not looking too good. Ethan Morgan looks really good as a goalkeeper, but we don't need him, so I'm going to cut him. Justin Smith, outside shot. Noah Park, outside shot. So I think we're going to sign Haber as well for now. We might as well risk it and see how good he is. And again, if he's not what I'm looking for, he gets sold. It's pretty straightforward. So, Cooper is exciting. Yes, Larry. Yes. 3-star, 2-star, which is rough, but high work rates, which is tremendous. So the weak foot sucks, but in terms of him being a cam, an actual midfielder, he'd be much better as just a straight, center mid. Not a CDM, not a cam, but somewhere in between, and he just runs up and down the field all game. Larry Cooper is great. Great addition to the team. Whereas Haber, at great potential, we're going to try to sell fairly quickly. 3-star, medium is fine. But at the very least, we have added a midfielder who might not be strictly defensive, but we're still looking pretty damn good. So we're going to continue to train up Cooper and Kerr. Very excited for those two. I mean, Sullivan's at a useful 70 overall. Again, Morgan and Sullivan, I'm just not quite sure. So you know what? We are... You know what? Sullivan. Walter Sullivan. Yes, let's continue to focus on him now, for sure. So Kerr, Cooper, and Sullivan are going to be the beneficiaries of a lot of the training time still moving forward. And, of course, they'll get to play a little bit next year as well. So, overall, I'm fairly happy with this. I mean, the two CDMs, it could have gone a little bit better in terms of their potential. But I can't say I hate where this team is right now. We're looking pretty good as AC Milan end up winning the Champions League. And we received Manager of the Month. It wasn't enough ultimately to win the Bundesliga, but hey, I'll take it. And hopefully we can move out Bliska to Chapecoense in Brazil. We get our final youth report out of Canada. Any winners here? Anthony Rogerson might be okay. We'll sign Park for now. We'll sign Haber for now. Carson Martin. We'll sign Pierre Olsen, and that's it for now. So we'll see out of that group, ultimately, who ends up looking good. Let's go back to the youth staff and send Mr. Schaefer immediately back to Canada. I don't think God, do we want to look for anything in particular? I mean, I know we need midfielders, but we still need a right back. I mean, you know, the only thing is it sucks. It's like, okay, we're ending up with goalkeepers, right? So we don't need wingers, really. Technically gifted, physically strong, playmaker, goalkeeper, attack, and defensive-minded. We're going to go for defensive-minded, I suppose, and hopefully we can find a right back and a half-decent CDM. That would be pretty nice. No real guarantees of that, but that's how we'll set it up for the next 3 months, as we still have one more month to sim through here fairly quickly. Racing Club in for Carson Morgan on loan. You know what? I think, to be honest, man, I don't know. I mean, we could use one of those two for depth, but just long term, I'm not digging it. I'm really not. So let's move Morgan straight to the transfer list. I mean, yeah, they're decent depth, man, but I don't know. That might be a mistake to try and get rid of those two. I don't deny that. But I think worst case scenario, I'll just change up the formation and let other people play that I actually want to give time to. If that means, again, hey, that we got to keep Piet and Mark-Anthony Kaye for an extra season beyond what I was expecting to, then so be it. We can obviously afford to do that, so I'm not too afraid of doing so. Belisca has finally been sold. He goes to Chapecoense in Brazil. And we will get another training session in there. Sullivan up to a 63. I think the reason why I'm okay with the idea of moving on from those guys is we have at least one center back, if not two, who can move up and play CDM. And I am more than fine with having them do that. I gotta be honest. I mean, it's a little bit of a risk from an offensive standpoint, but we know that they can do, they can do the job defensively. So why not do that? And that way, too, everyone gets playing time. The extra center backs get playing time. And it looks like there aren't going to be any more moves here. It looks like all the transfers out, all the players out, from the academy who wanted out, all of those moves have already been done. So I'm feeling pretty good. I think we're good for this episode in general. So I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed Season 4 in the Bundesliga. We'll get underway. I will see you guys then. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. And again, hopefully it's a very, very interesting season for us on the other side.